Here is everything you need to know about an alleged human trafficking ring in which women claim to have been enslaved against their will so that their captors could harvest their eggs. On February 7th, one of the women who claimed to be the victim of the human traffickers told her shocking story at a press conference in Thailand. She wore a face mask along with a hat pulled over her eyes as she spoke in order to remain anonymous, as did two other alleged victims who appeared with her as the chilling details were recounted. She says the nightmare began when she responded to an ad on social media which claimed to be looking for women willing to be surrogates. According to the ad, she would be allowed to live with the family she would be carrying the baby for in the country of Georgia, and that the pay would be good too. After agreeing to the terms, she said she was flown from Thailand and eventually to Georgia, where she was met by two Chinese nationals. At that point, she claimed she was brought to a house where she learned her fate. There was no family and no surrogacy. Instead, she says there were 60 to 70 Thai women being kept in the house, which was actually part of a human egg farm. The gangsters took their passports and threatened the women that they could be arrested if they tried to escape. She says that they would be injected with hormones before their eggs would be extracted with a machine every month, so that the criminals could sell their eggs on the black market. Some of the women would even resort to pretending to be ill in order to try to get out of this sickening procedure. But the only real way out was by paying ransom to the gangsters, which is what one woman was able to do, before alerting a Thai NGO to the horrific enslavement that was happening. The Pavena Foundation for Women and Children was then able to work with Interpol to help bring 3 of the women home, according to Reuters. In a February 6 press release, Georgia's Ministry of Internal Affairs wrote that they interviewed up to 60 foreign citizens and that the only complaints they heard were from 3 Thai women who, quote, no longer wanted to be surrogate mothers and stay at their residential address. That was the day before the press conference organized by the Pavena Foundation, where the alleged victim went public with her story. According to Reuters, the foundation estimates that 100 more women being trafficked for their eggs remain in Georgia against their will. And Thai authorities say they are investigating the situation. On social media, people who have learned about the women's alleged ordeal have reacted with horror and disbelief. One wrote, "This is so horrific I have a hard time coming to terms with the fact that I'm not reading dystopian fiction." Another pondered, "The fertility industry is already deeply unethical in many ways, catering almost exclusively to the wealthy, while exploiting poor and marginalized women as surrogates and egg donors. But this case is beyond even that level of quiet exploitation. This is out-and-out human trafficking, medical torture, and slavery. And why? Because there's a market for it. There are buyers. There are people with money and power to create an industry where human eggs are worth more than the people who produce them." Another summed it up, "I feel absolutely sick reading this. It's a horrible experience as a woman just going for a pap smear in a legitimate doctor's office. So I can't fathom what torture these women endured in this black market facility. This is medical torture. These poor women. I can only hope the survivors get justice."